Hi and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be reviewing these Tombow dual tip brush pens. I'm quite excited to try these out. I remember picking out a different set of colors a couple of months back and I really liked them. I couldn't do a review of those colors yet. Those are reds and a little bit more on the darker shade. These are some bright colors that I picked out. I've got 9 of them and I'm so excited to test these out and show you how they are. So this is for about INR 180 each, and I went to the store and picked it out. So on top of it you will have the name of the brand. You will also have the shade number. So this is pretty important because when I went to buy these set of colors, I only had the name, but when I went to the rack where they were kept, I noticed that none of these have their names written on top of it, which I thought was a little odd because I think most of these do have a name, because if I keep these next to each other, I know this is some kind of like, for me it could be a mint green, for somebody it could just be some other color. So that way it was a little strange for me. So I went to their website and checked every color against their number, so I started picking it out on that. So what I'm going to do is when I swatch it out, I will also write the names of all of these colors against it, so you know which one it is. So if you're going to pick out these 9, at least you will know which whether these will suit you. So back to it, we have 2 tips. Basically it's dual, so one side is like a brush pen, one side is like a fine nib, and these say that they are water based, so we'll also test out and see if it is water soluble. This is made in Vietnam and it has a very interesting brush nib. Like, it's not a complete brush where it'll bend, so it's got a nice tip here, and on the other side is a fine tip. So let's test it out. I'm going to write them down and I'm going to use a 180 GSM sketchbook. We'll also see if these brush pens can stand that, because most of the time when I'm outdoors and sketching, my sketchbook is generally 180 GSM or about 200. So we'll test it out and see if it bleeds through. Then we'll try it out on 300 GSM and see that. So I've got all the names written down against the numbers, so I'll just go one by one. The first one is 243, which is the mint. 192 is asparagus. 126 is light olive. 133 is chartreuse. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. 991 is light ochre. 873 is coral. 772 is dusty rose. 373 is sea blue, and 553 is mist purple. So you can always go to their website, Tombow USA. They have a very nice chart where the color is mentioned, and below that you will have the name of the color and also the number. So we'll start off the first one, which is the mint. So I'm just corresponding it to the color which is over here, 243, and this is how they are. So if I wait for it and I try to do something on top, it will get darker. So that's how it is. So you have to be a little careful. If you have to color a blob, then I would recommend you to do it at one shot and not wait slowly. So in fact, I don't even think you should do an outline. You should just go a little easy on yourself and then color it. So that's the brush side, and this is the fine nib. Since this is 180 GSM, I'm just going to turn over it and see if it bleeds through. And it does not, which is brilliant, because I was actually thinking that it may bleed through and then it will be difficult for me to use it when I'm traveling, but it's not. Next is 192, asparagus. This is such a beautiful green. So imagine if you're making like grass or something out of it, it's amazing. So we can also go on top of it. Let's say I have the background in that light color and then I do a dark color on top of it. So since it's 2 layers, let's see if it bleeds through again, and no, it does not. So I'm quite happy. The next one is the light olive, 126. Such a beautiful color. So it's like a leaf green. So they have their own ways of naming the color, so don't worry if it the name does not correspond with what you think in your mind. And this is also such a beautiful green. The light ochre, which is 991. Again, love this color. We are going to the coral now, which is 873. So it's very strange. If you look over here in the tip, or in the nib actually, it looks like this is a neon orange, but it's such a beautiful color when it comes on top of your paper. So always test it out. I think they would allow you to test out these colors if you're going to an art store directly and trying it out. You can always ask them if they have that. The next is, I really like this dusty rose. The next one is the sea blue. This is very dark. It's darker than I think what I may have liked, but it's still okay. Probably I should pick out a slightly lighter color the next time. And the last one that I have is this mist purple, which is also so beautiful. I really like this. I'm just trying to, thinking, you know, hopefully this sea blue doesn't bleed through. And no, none of the colors have bled through on the other side. So these are the 9 colors that I picked out this time. And since it's water based, I'm just going to try out and see if it's water soluble. No. So since it's water based, it's not alcohol marker, it's not alcohol based, so that's why you don't get a smell when you use them or when you open them immediately, which normally you would get if you're using alcohol based marker. So one way I'm planning to use these brush pens is basically outdoors, where I'm just going to use, probably, let's say I'll pick this color, and I could make the shape of petals out of it, or just make like a circle. And then once it dries, I'm going to use some color pencils and add some details onto them. So this is the main intention for me, but you could use it for lots of different reasons. You could create your own artworks out of this, and you could also mix and match your colors. So you can see how it really doesn't matter if you're going to be using it in this way, if you have some blobs of colors. In fact, it looks more organic that way. Like, I like this more than this, so this is another way that mostly that I'm going to be using this as. So I'm going to create a lot of different kinds of art, and hopefully I will get to post a lot of it over here on YouTube, and I can create some tutorials and show you guys different ways of using this brush. The last thing that I'm going to show you is what happens when we mix 2 colors. So I'm just going to take 2 different greens, and we're going to see if they blend with each other. You also have a blender brush, which I had picked out last time, and it does create a beautiful blend, but I think it's because I picked out 2 colors which are very close to each other. So I'm going to pick out a pink. This is basically the dusty rose, and this green. So it doesn't blend in that way. You need to use a blender. I'll create another video maybe of how to use the blender brush, and you can create a lot of interesting kind of effects with this. So I hope today's video was helpful for you, and it helps you to understand if these brush pens will serve your needs and if you need to add them to your art collection. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I will see you soon for the next one. Bye bye.